Very good evening to all of you. Now, in my previous session, I had started up with different water soluble vitamins and I had discussed vitamin B1. The active form of vitamin B1 is thiamine pyrophosphate. Next vitamin which I am going to take is vitamin B2. Now, vitamin B2 is also known as riboflavin. And if we look at the structure of this, it has 6,7 dimethyl isoalloxane ring in it. And the active forms of vitamin B2 are FAD and FMN. Because I told you whenever you have to prepare for the exam, you should know the active forms, in what form they are acting in the body. And I told you also that all the different types of vitamin B complex, they function as coenzymes. And the deficiency of B2 leads to cheilosis, glossitis, and dermatitis, which we are going to discuss in the later slides. Now see, generally we said you must have observed this thing. If we compare the color of cow's milk to that of buffalo's milk, you have seen that the color of the cow's milk is yellow, and it is said to be more proteinaceous in nature, full of protein. The, the reason behind this is because it has more of vitamin B2 component in it. It is said that germinating seeds have a good quality of riboflavin. Then what are the important functions of this? It is a very important component of mitochondrial electron transport chain, as you have seen in complex 2. Complex 2 is succinate coenzyme Q reductase. Succinate coenzyme Q reductase, where it is this FAD only. So basically what is happening is this isoalloxane serves as a carrier of a pair of hydrogen atoms. So FAD is there, whether FMN is there. FAD forms FADH2, FMN forms FMNH2. Now one question can again arise in your mind. If we write NAD, NAD always it is written as NADH plus H positive, whereas FAD is always written as FADH2. The reason behind this is this complex 2 has a low redox potential. And that is why it cannot contribute to PMF or proton motive force, and that is why one molecule of FAD on hydrolysis gives 1.5 ATP molecules, whereas one molecule of NAD gives 2.5 ATP molecules. This is because of this reason. Next, these are the functions of FMN and FAD as coenzymes. Now, FMN is also known as Warburg yellow enzyme. It is a component of cytochrome C reductase, component of L-amino acid oxidase, whereas FAD is a component of xanthine oxidase, aldehyde oxidase, glycine oxidase, amino oxidase, fumarate dehydrogenase, and acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. So FMN and FAD are used as coenzymes in variety of reactions. Now, what are the deficiency manifestations of vitamin B2? One is cheilosis is there, fissures at the corners of the mouth. Glossitis, magenta color of the tongue is there. Photophobia, dermatitis. And one more important thing which I am going to tell you is it is required for the synthesis of niacin in our body. So deficiency of niacin leads to pellagra. So you can say that vitamin B2 can also contribute to, even though at a smaller extent, to pellagra. This is what? This is vitamin B2. Then again a very important question, what is the diagnostic test to assess B2 deficiency? Now B2 deficiency is assessed by measurement of glutathione reductase activity in RBCs. Glutathione reductase activity, why? Because this is required to maintain the rigidity of the cell membrane of RBCs. Glutathione is present in two forms, oxidized form and reduced form. So if we measure the activity of this, it is a reliable test to detect the B2 deficiency. Then we come over to the recommended dietary allowance. You can see in children the requirement is this, in adults the requirement is this, and in pregnancy and lactation the requirement of B2 is this. Next we go over to niacin or B3. Now the active form of niacin is NAD and NADP. Both are the most powerful reductants present in all the biochemical reactions. It is actually known as nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and NADP is, it has more of phosphate, means more energy it is having. The structure of this is, it has nicotinic acid, nicotinamide. Now what are the cofactor forms of niacin? This just now I told you, it is NAD and NADP. If we look at the structure of this, you can see this is the structure. This is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. When this nicotinamide combines with adenine, you see this is adenine, right? Ribose phosphate. So the entire structure means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. This is how it works, and this is the active form of this. Now what are the chemical characteristics of niacin? It is relatively stable to light, heat, oxidation and alkali, and major losses due to bleaching. Then synthesis of niacin. Niacin is the only vitamin which is synthesized in our body from tryptophan. Tryptophan, which is a heterocyclic amino acid. This pathway requires B6 and B2. And very important, 60 milligram of tryptophan is required to make 1 milligram of niacin. And this is synthesized by kynurenine anthranilate pathway. Very important, 60 milligram of tryptophan is required to make 1 milligram of niacin. Now a very important concept again, maize or corn. It is low in both niacin and tryptophan because this maize consists of a protein zein which lack tryptophan. So obviously the persons whose staple diet is maize, they are more prone to niacin deficiency. Then we come over to the biochemical functions of niacin. Now since I told you, all of you have seen these type of structures wherever a typical redox reaction is considered, because you know, if you talk about any biochemical reaction, it is a typical redox reaction. If something is oxidized, the other has to be there to be reduced. They say oxidation is there, loss of electrons, so there has to be a species which is ready to accept the electrons. This is how the reaction goes. So niacin is considered as one of the major reductant of the redox reactions. Now you can see oxidation reduction, which is nothing but a redox reaction. Dehydrogenases in ETC, involved in energy production. There are thousands of reactions which are actually, you know, dealing with this. Then in synthetic pathways like NADPH is required. NADPH comes from HMP shunt. I'm telling you this because this is very important again. This is the significance also of HMP shunt, why it occurs in the body, because it generates NADPH. And NADPH is required for the metabolism of, you can say, fats. You can say fatty acid synthesis takes place. There is biosynthesis of cholesterol, non-esterified fatty acid synthesis takes place, and purine and pyrimidine synthesis also takes place by NADPH. And NAD is required for different dehydrogenation reactions in electron transport chain and involved in energy production, as you saw in the conversion of pyruvic acid to acetyl coenzyme A. Then deficiency of niacin is characterized by 3Ds. It leads to pellagra actually, which is characterized by 3Ds. One is dermatitis, dementia, and diarrhea, which leads to the fourth D, that is death. So deficiency of niacin causes pellagra. This is what? This is vitamin B3. Next we come over to, this is the RDA. RDA, every you can say coenzyme or vitamin has its own RDA. So you can just quickly go through this. Then next vitamin is vitamin B5, which is known as pantothenic acid, or it is written like this, SH-CoA. SH is what? It is the sulfhydryl group. A very good reducing agent. And how it is produced? It consists of pentoic acid and beta-alanine linked by a peptide bond. Active form is coenzyme A. Now when this concept of coenzyme A comes in your mind, all of you know two forms are there, acetyl coenzyme A and propionyl coenzyme A. So the entire metabolism of fatty acids or fats revolve around this pantothenic acid. Very, very important. जैसे oxidation of odd chain fatty acids leads propionyl CoA, oxidation of even chain fatty acids leads acetyl coenzyme A. So these two are the very, very important intermediates. Acetyl coenzyme A is required for the synthesis of fatty acids, for the synthesis of cholesterol, for the synthesis of ketone bodies. Propionyl CoA is required for gluconeogenesis. So wherever coenzyme A is there, it is pantothenic acid or pantotheniine. Deficiency of B6 leads to headache, irritability, flatulence, and burning feet syndrome is caused due to deficiency of pantothenic acid. Next vitamin is vitamin B6, commonly known as PLP, pyridoxal phosphate. Its active forms are pyridoxine, pyridoxal, and pyridoxine. But when it starts acting in the body, it is always in the form of PLP. Now this is a coenzyme for transamination, decarboxylation, deamination, and transfer sulfuration. Very, very important question. So many times it has been asked in the exam. The coenzyme required for transamination is PLP. Similarly, decarboxylation, D means removal of carbon dioxide, requires PLP. Removal of amino group, transfer of sulfur group. Then first of all we are going to take up decarboxylation. You can see there are so many examples of decarboxylation, means removal of carbon dioxide. Is it tyrosine? If carbon dioxide is removed, it forms tyramine. These are also known as biogenic amines. Glutamate, histidine forms histamine, which is again a very important biogenic amine produced in our body. Glutamate forms gamma aminobutyric acid, which is an inhibitory neurotransmitter also. Tryptophan forms tryptamine, which further forms serotonin in our body, a very important vasoconstrictor which stimulates the cerebral activity. Similarly, DOPA, dihydroxyphenylalanine, forms dopamine. So all these reactions require PLP as the coenzyme. Second is transamination. Transamination cannot occur without again PLP. All the amino acids, they undergo transamination, means transfer of the amino group from a amino acid to a keto acid to form a new amino acid and a new keto acid. For example, if we take SGOT or aspartate transaminase, the amino acid here is aspartate, alpha keto acid is alpha ketoglutarate, the new amino acid which is formed is glutamic acid, and the new keto acid which is formed is oxaloacetic acid. And the enzyme is SGOT, S stands for serum. This is typical transamination. Second is GPT or ALT. The amino acid is alanine, the most potent glucogenic amino acid. Keto acid is the same, new amino acid is the same, and the new keto acid is pyruvic acid. So this is what is transamination, which is a reversible process which requires PLP for its function. Then synthesis of lysine mein this is required. And deficiency leads to what? Different neurological disorders, and this is a very important xanthurenic aciduria. Basically, see what happens is this kynurenine, or you can say tryptophan, undergoes degradation by kynurenine pathway. So basically what is happening is this kynurenine gets converted to 3-hydroxylenthranilate in the presence of enzyme kynurenase, which requires B6 for its action. Now, if there is deficiency of these B6, what will happen is there will be accumulation of this kynurenine, and which will be diverted to form what? Xanthurenic acid. So, in other words, we can say excretion of xanthurenic acid in urine is a typical case of B6 deficiency. That is why it is written deficiency leads to xanthurenic aciduria. Then obviously pellagra, why? Because if this is absent, this 3-hydroxylenthranilate is going to form nicotinic acid. If the first reaction is defective, there will be no formation of niacin leading to pellagra. So this is what is PLP. Then we come over to another very important factor or vitamin, which is vitamin B7. Now see, vitamin B7, it is also known as biotin. It is known as anti-egg injury factor. Antagonist of this is avidin, which is a egg injury factor, which actually retards the absorption of this from the intestine. And this is a sulfur containing vitamin. Most important, yeah, only coenzyme for carboxylation reaction. Again, very, very important. Carboxylation means it attaches carbon dioxide. And the examples of this are acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase, enzyme of fatty acid synthesis in which acetyl coenzyme A is converted to malonyl-CoA, propionyl-CoA carboxylase, which converts propionic acid to succinyl coenzyme A, and pyruvate carboxylase, which converts pyruvic acid to oxaloacetate, the first step of gluconeogenesis. So today we discussed The water-soluble vitamins, vitamin B2, which is riboflavin, active form is FAD-FMN. We discussed B3, which is niacin, the active form is NAD and NADP. Then we discuss B5, which is pantothenic acid, the active form is CoA, whether it is acetyl CoA, whether it is propanol CoA. We discuss B6, which is pyridoxine or pyridoxal phosphate, or PLP, which is required for transamination, most important thing, transamination and decarboxylation, and transsulfuration and deamination. Then we come over to vitamin B7, which is also known as anti-egg injury factor, which is the most important coenzyme for carboxylation. Means without biotin, no carboxylation will occur. And deficiency leads to multiple carboxylase deficiency is actually due to this biotin deficiency. And the persons who are suffering from multiple carboxylase deficiency, they have to be supplemented with biotin. So this is all for now. In the next session, I am going to discuss vitamin B9, which is folic acid, very, very important vitamin again, and vitamin B12, which is cobalamin, in detail. Because if we discuss the metabolism of these two vitamins, they are actually interrelated. That is why I am taking these two vitamins separately, and they are very, very important. So, that's all for today. Thanks a lot. Good night. Take care.